she, and have, like with the second incident, I talked to him and kind of encouraging him?
Yeah, no, we keep open communication there. Yeah, for sure. And we just let the process play its way out there.
I guess the same with Wanye and
Yep, same thing. Yeah, same thing.
Andy, what steps do you take as a coach and as a team in order to make sure that these guys, when they're away from the facility, are making smart, safe decisions?
Yeah, well, obviously you stay in touch with them, and you communicate before they leave. Make sure they take care of business. So, but sometimes things happen, and then you got to work through that.
have y'all talked with Harrison at all just about his comments and what he said?
Yeah, listen, I talk to Harrison all the time, so that's not I think I didn't talk to him about this. Didn't think we need to. We're a microcosm of life here. Everybody from different areas, different religions, different races, and so we all get along. We all respect each other's opinions, and not necessarily do we go by those, but we respect everybody to have a voice. It's a great thing about America, man, and we're just, like I said, a microcosm of that. And I wish, my wish is that everybody could kind of follow that. So, yeah.
He made some comments about the president. Do you expect him to go to the White House with you all and still meet with the president?
Oh, I'm sure he will. Yeah.
And is there frustration that this offseason has had a lot of off-field distractions?
Yeah, listen, we don't want those things obviously to happen, but things do happen, and you work through it. And my thing is, if it's important that you learn from it, and that you end it. So that's important.
With so many women just on staff here and in the building, his comments kind of touched on women in the workforce. What do you tell them if they come to you with a concern about players speaking ill of, women in general?
Yeah, that hasn't happened. I don't think he was speaking ill to women, but he has his opinions, and we all respect that. I let you guys in this room, and you have a lot of opinions that I don't like. So.
When a player says something that can be deemed controversial, even though some people supported it, some people didn't, how do you help that not become a distraction for this team with as much attention that's on Harrison's comments?
Yeah, sure. The guys are good with that. They understand. They understand how things work. Everybody's got their own opinion. And that's what's so great about this country. You can share those things, and you work through it. And that's what guys do.
As it relates to the schedule, the clog at the end with the 3 days or 3 games in 11 days, do you get heads up notice about that, playing on different days every day but Tuesday? And then what's your reaction to it?
I don't. They don't ask me. It's the first time in my career that's happened. It's unique. So, and you know how we are. We don't really care. They could give us a Tuesday game if they want. We'll be okay there too. So, we work through it, and we'll play anybody, anywhere, whatever they want to do. We're on board. So.
Andy, with the new guys, Hollywood, Carson, how do they kind of integrate themselves just through these practices and getting all theirs?
Yeah. So, and really in general, I like what I've seen from the new guys. Those two have done a real nice job. You guys got a chance to see it for the first time today, and Hollywood does a nice job out there as a receiver. It looks like he and Pat are developing a nice little chemistry there, and we'll just take it step by step as we go. And then Carson looks sharp. He's picking things up fast. Smart guy, and he fits in well. He seems like a heck of a person, and he's good for that room, or good in that room.
Andy, what are you asking of Rasheed this time compared to a year ago?
As far as football?
Yes.
Yeah. So, obviously, we're going to increase what he does. At the same time, make sure that he takes what he wasn't doing well last year and working on that. And we try to do that with all the guys. So we try to give him a little bit more, but at the same time, making sure that we don't forget about the things from last year.
Is there one or two things that you can pinpoint that you want to see improve from now until the start of whenever he can play?
Yeah, so he worked through, as you saw during the season, he worked through some of the drops So we're good with that. He's got good hand placement as he goes through the routes. He's got that feel of where things can catch it quick and where you have a little bit more time. I think the place that he'll continue to work on would be just in space. He has a nice feel for it, but the more reps you get with that, the better you get with it. So the area that he plays in, that becomes important.
What does Xavier bring to the table? What have you seen from him? Was he able to practice today?
No, he didn't practice today. He tweaked his hamstring the other day, so he didn't practice today. But what we saw was somebody that was smart, understood what was being thrown at him, and then somebody that can run pretty fast. And we just basically got through the introduction stuff to him. So he was only out there for a day and a half. So but he got a nice introduction to things.
For the new kickoff rules, can he make a difference? Can a guy make a difference? I haven't watched the other league, so I don't know what.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're feeling that whole thing out as we go. Tove's doing a nice job. We're trying to work on it. You can't block full speed, so it's tough to get a full grasp of that whole thing. But I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure any of us are going to know until we really boot the thing off. So
With Worthy's injury right now, how are you expecting him and Pat to try to build some of that chemistry when he can't be on the field?
yeah, well, when he gets back, we'll take it from there. He's a smart kid. He's got a good feel for things. Comes from a good system. He's done a few of the things we've done in college, so he'll just work through that, and I think we'll be all right. He'll get enough reps as we go.
It seems like Hollywood has a good feel for the system already. You're impressed by what you've seen from him?
Yeah, no, he's another one that's a smart kid, and he just kind of gets it. And Pat and there's so much talking going on, which I look at, and I think that's important. As long as the receivers are willing to listen and then share what they saw, and it's accurate, you normally can develop a pretty good relationship relatively quick as you go. Yeah.
Todd? Coach, I saw they're gonna experiment in the preseason with some technology in the ball to spot it on the
Yeah.
line of game stuff. What do you know about the system that they're gonna use? What do you expect it to kind of show you?
Yeah, listen, I'm not, I think it's gonna be fine. But we'll just see. I'll be looking at that like the kickoff, so we'll see how it works, and we'll kind of go from there.
Is it something that league and coaches have wanted to get more accurate on those, are you across the line on that?
Yeah, I think the coaches and the officials too. I mean, they want to keep it, I'm speaking for the officials, but the coaches feel the same way, that they want to be as accurate as they possibly can. And so whatever technology helps them out, I think they're open to, as long as it's done the right way, and you can kind of keep the flow of the game rolling. They've been real good with all that stuff.
Matt?
Coach, you mentioned experimenting with the new kickoff rule. We even got to see a little bit of that with Justin, doing some kickoffs as well. How much excitement do you think that you could inject into that play now?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, there seem to be some options that you can do with it. A little bit like the run game, potentially. There are things that you can maneuver around with. Now, having the two up backs like they have, that's going to be, and then the two receivers, that's going to, two guys receiving the ball. It's going to be, it opens up some options that maybe the other group didn't have.
Maybe an advantage too to have a guy like Justin with kickoffs as being an extra tackler.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, potentially. Yeah. Once you get through that first wall, there's not a whole lot past that other than that guy. So.
Andy, Patrick seems to be pretty vocal this time of year on the field. How much do you really rely on that for the tone of these sorts of midsummer practices?
Yeah, so I think it's great to hear the coaches do it, but then on top of that, to have a player that voices himself. When Kels was out here, he did the same thing. He puts it out there and makes sure the guys hear it. I hear Chris Jones doing that on the defensive side. So and Bolden, that's so important. I think that they first of all bought in to what we're doing, and then are willing to share it with the other guys. So I'm sure some of the rookies are looking at it like, boy, this is crazy. But he's going to get you in the right spot and do the right things with it. So
Good.
it's good. Okay, good. Yep. You said.
All right, guys, fire away.
It seemed pretty spirited out there. A lot of talking back and forth. What did
Yeah.
it feel like for you?
No, it's I think as the years go on, you start playing against the same guys over and over again. It's kind of that competitive trash talk. I mean, going up against guys like Drew and Nick, and then some of the DBs. I mean, you kind of you talk trash in the locker room, but you love on each other too. So we're always competing, and then at the end, we're talking about it and trying to find ways to make each other better. And I have to give away some of my secrets about stuff that I know about them, and they do a little bit the same.
Patrick, maybe this is related, but what did you learn about this point of the season last year that was beneficial to kind of, erase what you had done the year before and then really turn the focus to the next year?
I mean, every year you have to do that. I think just as I've gotten older and as I've learned more and more, I just try to find different ways to tweak certain stuff and trying to push the envelope even more. And I think y'all saw today, we try to throw a few more deep passes, get back to the deep game and stuff like that. I think we've done a great job mastering the intermediate short stuff, but we want to get back to having that part of the offense as well. And so coach is really pushing us to push it down the field, and it's hard to do against our defense, but we're trying to make it happen.
What do you see from Hollywood Brown, especially on that back end zone grab he made?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it the entire offseason from working in Texas till here, and I remember the first day I told guys like Drew, and I was like, hey, like he's gonna try. He tracks him down the field well, and he can really go. And I think y'all saw it today. I mean, I'm giving him chances downfield. He's making the plays happen, and the more plays he makes, the more we'll continue to give him those chances. It's a good addition to our offense.
Patrick, as a young black man who is financially stable, obviously, with your contract and stuff, what advice or what conversations are you having with Rasheed Rice to where we know about the car accident incident, I'm pretty sure you had a conversation with him after that, but then to find himself in the situation that he had in the club at 1:30 in the morning, what kind of conversations are you all having with him so he kind of avoids putting himself in situations like that in the future?
Yeah, I think it's not just me. I think it's just trying to do whatever we can to teach him how to learn from his mistakes. I mean, obviously, that was a big mistake, but you have to learn from it, make sure it doesn't happen again, and try to do whatever you can to be the best person you can be in society, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. And I think he is doing that. But right now, we're just going to keep trying to do whatever we can to get him on the right path so that he can be a great football player, obviously, but we want him to be a great person, too.
Patrick, you've been so good about eliminating distractions in the past, but with this offseason, how have you just been kind of telling the team and everybody else, along with yourself, just make sure that you guys focus on football when you're here and try not to make any mistakes going into it, because it impacts all of us.
Yeah, I think guys know. At the same time, I think when you get in the locker room, it's kind of that safe space where everybody can be themselves, and we can worry about football and each other's families and everything like that. And so it's always good to have people here, have people in Kansas City practicing, like you said, competing, and then it's just about being smart as we can when we're not in the building. And I think the guys understand. We have to step up as a team and an organization in that way, but we have to go out there and prove that in order for other people to believe that as well.
Patrick, Harrison's comments made at the commencement speech made a lot of waves. What was your reaction to just hearing what he said there?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I was talking about with the Rasheed thing. I think it's just I know Harrison. I've known him for 7 years, and I judge him by the character that he shows every single day, and that's a good person. That's someone who cares about the people around him, cares about his family, and wants to make a good impact in society. When you're in the locker room, there's a lot of people from a lot of different areas of life, and they have a lot of different views on everything, and we're not always going to agree. But and there's certain things that he said that I don't necessarily agree with, but I understand the person that he is, and he's trying to do whatever he can to lead people in the right direction, and that might not be the same values as I have, but at the same time, I'm going to judge him by the character that he shows every single day, and that's a great person, and we'll continue to move along and try to help build each other up to make ourselves better every single day. But at the end of the day, we're going to come together as a team, and I think that'll help out as well as eliminating those distractions outside the building as well.
Patrick, I have to ask, what did you disagree most with what he said?
I think there's just certain values that you have that some people emphasize more than others, and there's just certain things that I didn't necessarily agree with. But at the same time, I'm not going to judge him by that. I judge him by the way he acts every single day, and I'm not going to get into the full details of the entire speech. But at the same time, I know what type of person he is, and I'm going to make sure that I look at that first, and then let the other stuff kind of handle itself.
With that speech coming, I mean, the time 100, that's aired,
Yep.
weeks before. But that speech coming the morning of, and then your speech about after. I mean, is there any type of thinking? It's just like, is it just a coincidence, or is it just like?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty bad timing, I guess you would say. But like you said, I shot that a couple weeks before. But I think what makes the locker room so cool is you're able to have those discussions and become better and make those decisions for yourself. And so even though there are very vast, I guess, differences as far as those speeches happen, you're able to talk to guys and you get knowledge. You make your own decisions at the end of the day. And I think that's what makes this country so great, is that you're able to get as much knowledge as you can, and then you make your own decisions. And it's it gets a little divisive sometimes when you get to social media and you get to outside the building. But in the building, you can have those healthy discussions and still be friends at the end of the day, even though you might not agree with exactly the same things.
Patrick,
Just on the
Patrick,
schedule.
when you talked, Ricky said you talked to them after they got drafted, but what was your message to them? Obviously, the level of expectations that they should have coming in for themselves and the legacy that they want. What kind of message did you give to this incoming draft class?
I think it's just to try to be great every single day. They have to learn how to work. I mean, that's every class that comes in, every group of rookies. You have to learn how to. You have to push them to be great, and that's why you see me over there yelling finish, and you see me talk to those guys at every single play. We know that those guys are we're going to keep us going and keep this thing going, and we're looking obviously at this year, but in future years as well. And so we want to make sure that we push them to be great every single day. And so having those guys in, a lot of talented guys that have displayed a lot of talent so far. But that they got to continue to be great because they have to be good fast. It's not like we're waiting for them to develop to be a great player. We want to be great the first day they step on the football field, and I think our coaches and the players around really push guys to be great every single day.
So we have 1:30 meetings. Let's go to Sam. We'll go across the room. Go to Sam.
Did you watch his whole speech, or did you just see the clips on social media?
I've seen a good amount of it. So I've seen the clips on social media. I think they're a little bit taken out of context in a little bit, but at the same time, it's whenever you say something, it's going to be clipped out and be on social media. So you have to take responsibility for that. He went out there and he thought it through, did his own speech, and that's his views. And I think it's at the end of the day, it's about us taking the man and his values and everything that he does every single day, and then judging him by that, not by one moment or one speech.
Karen?
What's your initial reaction to the schedule and then that tight log jam at the end where it seems like you have 3 games in 11 days? How do you prepare for that?
I feel like our schedule has gotten crazier and crazier every single year, and so it's just about preparing for the week ahead of you. We know that we're going to have a lot of primetime games. We've built up the equity to be able to be in those games, and so now it's about how can we find a way to be better than we were last year at the end of the season, and so learn from our mistakes from last year, try to motivate ourselves to get ourselves healthier faster, and then go out there and win those games because there's a lot of great football teams we play at the end there.
Do you have one circled at all?
I'm going to try to be better on Christmas because last Christmas was not great.
Courtney, go ahead.
I know Worthy has the hamstring injury and he'll get a lot of reps at some point, but like what do you appreciate about his game most, and what are you trying to do right now to make sure he can stay up to speed even if it's not out there?
Yeah, I think you can tell how intelligent he is. He's asking the right questions. I mean, before he had the hamstring thing, he was getting in, he was getting the work in. And sometimes it's tough with those guys coming off combine training, and then they want to prove that what they can do from day one, and such little injuries like that happen. And we're going to be precautionary right now. He probably could get out there if we really wanted him to, but he's sitting there. You can see him. He's sitting right beside the guys, asking all the right questions. And whenever he does get back on the field, I'm excited to get to work with him.
We'll last two, but Matt and Steve. Go, Matt.
You've talked about Hollywood and Xavier a little bit, but you usually give us a pretty good scouting report on the other new faces too. What do you kind of for first impressions, being a guy like Jared and even a guy like Nico that's back from last year?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think y'all saw Wiley. I mean, the more he gets down the field, he can really make those tough contested catches. I want him to play even more physical. I know it's kind of hard, no TAs. You can't really bump and do stuff like that. But I think he can make those tough contested catches kind of in the middle of the field, and he's faster than people think he is. And so he played good. Nico's done a really great job being back. He was at the whole time we were in Texas getting the work in. Even guys like, watching the defensive guys like 21, Hicks play. I mean, he's a big dude, and he's going to get better and better. And you can see it early. He has the physical ability. It's about putting together Spags' defense, which is you have Spags' defense and Coach Reid's offense, which is hard for those young guys to learn. But I think we have a lot of guys that have come in and really showed. I mean, Joseph got the pick on me today, so we got a lot of guys that have come in and shown that they can really compete and be players for us.
Steve.
You have a pretty diverse portfolio, man. How do you find the time in the off season? Is there someone you go to? I see you sport coffee.
Yeah.
One, who do you talk to about just your business ventures, and then why sport coffee?
Yeah, I always do stuff that I believe in. And the sports coffee thing the sport coffee thing happened really naturally. Where I love coffee, I drink it a lot, but I don't like to put sugar in it. I don't like to put all the added stuff in there. So I wanted to find a healthier version so I can help my body not have that dad bod. And so the biggest thing is just doing stuff that you really invest in. I did this from a very early part of it. I got to sample it and trying to give my tweaks, and so stuff like that. And I've partnered with people that I believe in, and some have worked, some haven't worked. But I think if you have the passion and the belief, then you can make stuff happen, and that's who I look to invest in.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Thank you, Fred.
So we're gonna try not to make them wait.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Trent, see Brian Cook out there.
Yeah.
Back out there. What's that mean for you guys in the secondary?
It's exciting, battling injury and just seeing somebody back out there smiling, having fun, running around, getting in and out of his breaks. I mean, I'd love to see when a guy gets to come back from that.
You got most of the ones out there, DB wise. I mean, it seems like that was picked up where you left off. So
Yeah.
Is that something that's encouraging right there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like yesterday there was just one play where we kind of messed it up, and then me and Jay Reid just played off each other, and I was like, man, it feels good to just 3 years into this, everybody knows what they're doing. You ain't got to be out there worrying about who's doing what. We can just play fast, and I feel like going into this new season, I think that's huge where we're starting off at.
We haven't asked you, but obviously with Jerry Sneed going to Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
what's that mean for you? Like, how big of a loss is that, in your opinion, with him not being there, but also the opportunity for the other cornerback now?
Yeah, I mean, we all love LJ. Disappointed to see him go, but also excited for his new journey. But, I mean, for us, I think it just allows new guys to step up and take on a bigger role, Guys like me, I got to step up, become more of a leader, and some young guys who are coming in, rookies and one-year players who really come in and make a name for themselves. And I feel like that's really exciting to see for me. And just, as a fan, seeing young guys come in and just play and dominate with the Kansas City Chiefs, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
You find yourself being more vocal now?
Yeah, I've had to speak up a little bit, especially with the rookies coming in and, trying to learn this playbook and everything. I know I was there 2 years ago, so trying to just set that standard and just making sure we don't dip below it.
Trent, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we saw you play much on the nickel today. What's it like being, primarily more on the outside now, but also because of the young guys, you're probably having to teach more about being in the nickel?
Yeah, I'm comfortable outside. I told that to Spags, and I mean, even last year I was outside. So I feel like last year for me, more going in at nickel was more of the new thing for me. So coming to this year, it is kind of funny being on the outside and seeing these young guys come in, but I think they're doing a great job. I mean, Shamari Connors, Nick Jones, a couple of rookies coming in here and really holding down that nickel spot and having to do everything like that. I mean, they're constantly asking me questions stuff, and in the film room, I mean, they're coming along great. So just being able to be there as just one of those guys like, hey, do this, see that, and just giving little tidbits like that, I feel like it's something I can help.
It's only been a few days, of course, but just your first impression of seeing Xavier Worthy, obviously before the hamstring injury, and obviously competing with Hollywood.
Man, I love it. Boy, we rolling, Pat, we got some weapons, and I mean, when I think about last year during this time, I think the defense was low-key, getting after that offense, but we battling this year, and at least for me as a DB going against receivers like X when he comes back, and I mean Marquise Brown and J. Watt and everybody like that, I feel like it's just going to sharpen my tools even more.
Trent,
The message this offseason has been, three-peat.
Yeah.
Something that's never been done before, on the football field. Do you feel like that level of intensity is high out there?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's everybody's main goal, really, do something nobody's ever done. And I think that just comes back to just working at it each and every day, not taking a day off and making sure everybody's really just coming together,
Couple more guys.
Spags
So
has talked
Matt and
about-
Courtney and Sam.
Spags has talked about LJ going to him in the past and saying, hey, I want to be the guy that covers the number one receiver on the
Yeah.
team. Do you feel like that's something that you want to do or you need to do for this team?
Man, I don't know if it's like a need, but that's definitely something as a competitor, 100% what I want to do. Getting to line up against the best receivers each and every week. I mean, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Pat said that there's kind of more of a concerted effort. The secondary, just knowing that there's more speed out there at receiver.
Man, they rolling. I mean, y'all saw today, Pat was back there just throwing it deep play after play. So I think for defensive-wise, the timing and just understanding what guys really are about, you know, mentally, just how focused you can be. Because when guys are rolling like that, your keys, how you're reading things, how fast you're doing things, everything's going to speed up. So being able to go out there and play against an offense like that, I think it's be super beneficial for all of us.
Last one.
We saw you inside a little bit of safety in the playoffs,
Yeah.
some snaps last year, but Shamari rotating between those spots.
Yeah.
And Nickel is a second-year guy. Just explain to us the difficulty of maybe having to switch positions.
Doing that? Yeah. Man, I give big props to Shamari. They got him playing nickel, safety, dime. I mean, both safeties in this defense. I mean, I'm like, yo, you got it. Like, this is crazy. Like, he be asking me questions. I'm like, sometime, or I don't know, man. You got to just play, you know? So he's one of those dudes who's quiet but works really hard, you know, asks the right questions and is very detailed. So maybe right now, you know, he might make a few bumps along the road, but I just keep telling him, man, just keep working at it and you'll get better at it.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Trent.